And welcome back to Face the Nation. President Obama and Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's relationship has been the subject of endless speculation over the years. So when we talked last week in New York, I asked the Prime Minister how he would describe it. How do you describe your relationship with the President?
Actually, it's quite good. I have to tell you, we had a conversation, I don't want to say like an old married couple, but the President said that he's had more meetings with me than with any other foreign leader. I think you get to a point of mutual respect. You cut to the chase very quickly. You talk about the real things openly, as befitting real allies. I think we have a relationship of mutual respect and mutual appreciation.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Iran. What concerns you most about these negotiations that are going on with Iran?
Well, from the start, I said, I don't understand why we should let the world's most dangerous regime, which practices terrorism all the time. I mean, I heard President Rouhani shed these crocodile tears about the spread of global terrorism. He should talk to his own people. They're the ones who are doing it. So this is the greatest terrorist regime in the world, and we don't want him to have the ultimate weapon of terror, which is nuclear weapons. My fear is that they would get the ability to enrich enough uranium for a bomb in a very short time, weeks, months, and that's the deal that I hope is not signed. And to the extent that you take away the number of centrifuges that they will have left, it becomes a better deal. To the extent you give them thousands of centrifuges, that becomes a bad deal, a very bad deal, not merely for us in Israel, but for you and I think for the peace of the world. You don't want this regime able to kick out the inspectors, which is what breakout means. They don't care how good the inspections are, they just kick them out. And they say, okay, there's, at a time of our choosing, multiple crises around the world, throw out the inspectors, go for enriching the bomb, and you have enough material to make an atomic device, which they can put on a container ship, and they can bring it to any port in the world. We don't want to be there, and you don't want to be there.
You miss Ahmadinejad. He almost seemed like every time things were going along, he could stir things up.
He was telling it like it is, and basically the president of Iran, who's not the leader of Iran, the real leader of Iran is the supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, rightly named. He's the leader. He makes the decisions. He's a dictator, really. And Rouhani is a good fronts person, you know, so is their foreign minister. But they don't make the decisions. They're supposed to smooth talk their way to getting, basically bamboozling the West to get a deal that lifts the sanctions, the tough sanctions that the U.S. has put in place, and that leaves them with enough centrifuges to be able to get to the bomb in a very short time. That shouldn't happen. We've seen smooth-talking foreign ministers in the previous century at critical times. That preceded disasters.
As you head home, what most worries you right now?
I think between East and West, there's between the great United States that I would never shortchange. I think it's the leading power in the world. It's a powerful country. It has reservoirs of strength and enterprise and initiative that surpass any other. Between the United States in the West and the rising powers in the East, I visited China earlier. I just met with Prime Minister Modi here. These are great events that are happening, and they're changing our world, obviously. But in between East and West, there is a malignancy of militant Islam whose first victims are Muslims who don't toe the line, and they're cut down brutally. Christians, Yazidis, Jews, anyone, secularists, anyone, gays, women. I think that malignancy is growing and spreading. It's sending its tentacles to the West. I wrote 20 years ago that you will see domestic international terrorists because you'll see them send people to jihadists to live in the West in order to wage jihad against the West. And unfortunately, that's come about. But the greatest danger that I see from these militant Islamists is that they will marry their mad ideologies to weapons of mass death. That is a threat not only to my people, the Jewish people and the Jewish state of Israel, but to your people. They view us as one because of our tolerant societies, whom they think is weak and corrupt. We understand the value of diversity and human freedom and choice. They abhor it. They want to wipe us away. If they have the weapons to wipe us away, they'll try. They'll fail ultimately, as did the Nazis, but they took down tens of millions of people with them. That should not happen again.
Prime Minister, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Bob.
And we'll be right back to talk about the problems plaguing the Secret Service.